that's how you grow wealth. You plant that seed and you let it grow. Whether it's real estate, like your retirement here, especially retirement. If you start at 20 and by 60, you damn near could be a millionaire.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to YBI, where we discuss opinions and strategies on how to better your financial self. This is Zion and Roman here, doing what it is that we do. And today we are back to talk to you guys about your future selves. We are talking about retirement. We're talking about everything that you need to know about the differences in 401k, Roth IRA, Social Security. We're not going to really get into because, hey, fact of the matter is we probably ain't gonna have it, but it is what it is. So today we are going to talk about everything retirement. Roman, how we doing, my guy?
We're doing good. It's been a good week. Everything's been going well. How about yourself?
Man, it's crazy out here. It is crazy out here. Busy, but came back as always to get everything said that needs to be said about retirement. So setting some time aside to make sure we can get the people the information. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah, and guys, remember, this is for entertainment. Whatever we're gonna go over here, definitely either talk to a financial expert or advisor or CPA or anything else about that. We're just gonna go over some basic information for you all to basically set you up for things you kind of want to start thinking about for this, and then figure out what kind of path you need to, what's best for you, and where you want to go on with it. We're just gonna give you basically like the starter steps for it, and yeah.
So, sounds like a plan. Where's your face light, bro? Why are you so dark?
My window right here is like, it's really gloomy in Chicago
now.
It's
better now. I don't know why.
It's the light outside. Like, it's messing with my lighting in here. And I put the blinds over it, but it's still like making it change. It's rainy and gloomy here in Chicago today. It's nothing but storms and clouds.
Invest in self. Get yourself a little light. See this? See this little light? Yes. Face light.
I got my ring light, but it's just, I got to figure out how to fit that in here.
All right. We'll get into that later.
Whatever.
All right. Retirement.
When you're old and gray. When you're not young and broke, you're probably old and somewhat stable. It should be stable by then. But it's going to be the money that basically going to be setting yourself up for when you are, sitting on the beach, sitting pina colada. This is going to be the money that's going to basically help you and live off this money. So I had someone actually come to me a couple of days ago and was like, how do I start investing? What is the IRA and the 401k? The bare bones, really difference between these two is how they are taxed. So with the 401k, you invest your pre-tax dollars, lowering your taxable income for that year. So if you make 60 grand and you put 10 grand into your 401k, the government looks at it as you made 50 grand that year and the rest was not there. With an IRA, you invest your after-tax dollars. So that's basically you make 60 grand, and once you get that 60 grand yourself, you put that 10 grand into retirement. So you already paid taxes on it, and that money can grow tax-free. Basically, just figuring those out is basically what you want to do with your plan. Usually, companies will kind of give you your own 401k or your 401k plan that you can ask or set up through them. Some will do an employee match, some will not. An IRA, a Roth IRA especially, is usually something that you can base it up with yourself. I have one through M1 Finance. You can set one up through Fidelity or Vanguard or Stash, or I think even Robinhood has an IRA now. Most banks have them. You can set up multiple ways, and basically you can pretty much figure out from there and set up your own investments with it. But Zion, what's some things about employee contribution?
So in terms of employee contribution, for 401k, that's what I'm going to talk about specifically. So for 401k, you can set aside a percentage. That's how much you want to come before tax. So what happens, let's say that you set it to 6%. Let's say that you make $1,000 and then that you get taxed everything in terms of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the state tax, all that stuff. All that stuff comes out. On top of that, then that 6% is going to come off of whatever your gross is. So once that comes off, then you get whatever is left. So what happens is that's money that I don't see. So for me, I actually like that better because that money never comes to me. So technically it doesn't exist in my head. It's going into a separate account that I have access to, but I don't necessarily see it. So I don't feel like it's money that I'm spending or anything like that. So if you have access to a 401k, especially through an employer, it may behoove you to take a look into seeing if they have an employee match. What that means is that they will match whatever percent you put up. So let's say that their match is 10%. So let's say, hey, I want to put up 10%. That means that the company is going to put up 10%, which means that you can have 20% going to a saving or retire a 401k account that you wouldn't have had before. I would recommend maxing that out if possible. In terms of COVID, a lot of people have lowered that amount. So some companies had it to 5% and have lowered it to 2.5%. So you just have to look and see if that's something that companies are still doing, and if that's something that you can take advantage of, because that's free money. That's literally every pay period you could be making an additional, 2.5% on money that you wouldn't see anyway. So I think that is an excellent way to just make extra money. And the big thing, especially with both of these types of accounts, is to start early. If you start early, the earlier you start, the more money you're going to have at the end of the day. So if you start at 20 versus 25, that's 5 years of savings, 2.5% of savings, let's say, from every paycheck for 5 years. That's thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars that you could have, and the compound interest on that could turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars on the back end. So that's just that's a little bit about what employers can do for you as an employee, and a way that you can actually make a little bit more money by doing nothing at all.
Right. And we, hopefully by this stage, you've been on our channel now for a minute. You've already got your savings plan kind of down. You got that, first $1,000 emergency fund kind of in there. Maybe you got your 6 months already saved up, paying off that debt, and you can start throwing more and more money towards this retirement. Definitely don't, you can, even with the 401k and an IRA, you can always contribute more money to it. Even with an employee one, they'll at least have a website for you to log into, like, hey, you can contribute more. You do have to check your contribution limits, especially on 401ks. That will vary on your income and what your company's like plans are for that. For most individual Roth IRAs, it's $6,000 for the year. You can max that out whenever, and you can invest that kind of how you see fit. But definitely, we know once you have your money saved up, you may even have like your own investment strategy already going. You might be like, okay, I got to still some extra dollars I throw towards retirement, or split what you're already investing to your retirement. You want to make sure that you are set for your future self, and that way you don't have to really worry about it. You definitely want to give yourself that head start. If just like Zion just said, you start at versus 20 versus 25, that's 5 years of money. That's 5 years of growth. The stock market has been growing 6 to 8% every year for like the last 30 years at least. So if that's about right there, that's compounding interest, as most people will call it, right there on that account, right? That you just missed out on 5 years of it. Even if it was only $100, that's money you just missed out on. So you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of that, and especially that's how you grow wealth. You plant that seed and you let it grow. Whether it's real estate, like your retirement here, especially retirement, because you start at 20 and by 60, you damn near could be a millionaire. So let's hit it up.
Yeah. So that's why we're kind of saying that, one, we don't want to bake on Social Security, which is why we're not really touching on that, because Social Security is something that we may never see. And being really realistic, my parents may never see it, and they're going to be getting to that age soon where they should be able to start pulling from that. But the way that the government is set up, et cetera, a lot of people are not believing that there's going to be money left in Social Security, which is crazy, because I just checked my pay stub and I'm still paying into it, but I'm not gonna be able to get it. So that means that you need to have a safety net for yourself, which means that, big picture, one thing that you never want to do with either one of these accounts is pull from it. They have options, very, air quote options, in terms of you can pull, you can do a loan against the money, and I would never recommend doing it, because there are always going to be penalties to doing that. So for a 401k account,
retirement savings, like never take a loan out on any of your investments. Just across the board, because some platforms will allow you to do a loan against like your investment portfolio. Never do it, because what if your investment portfolio goes down 20% or whatever, and you want to pull that money out to pay it back, or you just don't do it overall.
Yeah. It's just not worth it. It's really not worth it, because at the end of the day, you're pulling money from your future self. So your 65-year-old self that doesn't want to work anymore now has to continue to work because your 30-year-old self decided to pull money to buy a new car. You can pull money out, but you shouldn't. So in theory, you cannot pull money out of these accounts. This is just money that you need to allow to sit there and to grow continuously. Because like I said, pulling money from there is only going to hurt the future self of you. Like that's not a good idea. It's just not fun. So making sure that you are contributing to it successfully, as much as you possibly can. So for me, I have an app that just allows, I could literally change it every month. If I want to contribute 4% this month, and next month I want to contribute 12%, I can change it every month. But at the same time, I like to see how my money is growing in that specific account. It makes me feel a little bit better. Because at the end of the day, when you see thousands of dollars sitting in an account, you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing a little bit better for myself. And my future self is thanking my younger self. So that's where I'm at with it. Now the big question is, when can you start accessing this money? Because we all know, hey, we're not supposed to pull it now. So when can we start pulling that money?
Most accounts you can start pulling it out as soon as you hit about 60. But once you do that, there's usually, it starts out about 10% still penalty, even before 60 as well. And then you have to either pay it back or pay extra taxes on it, or a penalty fee on top of that. And then by the time you start hitting about 65, it'll go down to 0. Every year before that, until 65, it'll go like 2%, 3%, and eventually it goes down to 0 once you hit that price target, or not price target, but age target. And then once you get there, you can pull it out completely penalty free. There are some cases like with Social Security, once you hit 69, you don't get any penalties for it. But with your IRA and your 401k, it's about 62. And you'll have no penalties on that. It may vary depending on what your plan is and what you got going on there, but usually that's about the average age for that. And then you take that money out, and then you can start living on it. In addition to that, of course, your individual investment accounts, not even including your 401k and IRA, you have those going. You also can start living off those as soon as you have enough money in there to do that. And then once that pops up, then you have even more money. You're like, okay, now I'm set. Now I'm really chilling. And you can you can roll that over and pass it on to your future generation of kids or grandkids or somebody, because you're like, hey, I got your college is already paid for, or anything like that. So it's a great way to even start building generational wealth.
Yeah. So in terms of practicality, the steps that you need to do: 1, like, subscribe. 1.1 is go to our last video, one of the other videos that talks about the different types of apps and things. So it was, what are the apps? M1, Fidelity, Vanguard,
Fidelity, Charles Schwab. We picked like our top 5 brokerages to basically see which ones you want to go with. Especially for retirement accounts. For new retirement accounts, I'm gonna go over M1 with you all and how that kind of sets up. I'm not sponsored by M1 at all. I just like the platform. And then Vanguard and Charles Schwab will show you those as well, and kind of how those are set up and how you kind of go through there and set that up. It's very easy, very simple, and then you can kind of start running with it. If you do want it to be more kind of automated, you can, go to an investment broker or banker and say like, hey, I want to open up a retirement account. Can you help set one up for me? They can do it. But most times with those things, they either want you to have like a minimum of, don't quote me on it, I think the minimum at least 5 to 20 grand, depending on where you're going to get this done at. And when you do it yourself, you can start off with like $100 or $10 and basically get it going. Some of them are about $500 to start off, but that's still way better than just forking over $5 grand or whatever. And if you don't even have it. So that's definitely what you want to do with that.
So looking in terms of practicality, looking at either one of those apps to start investing for yourself, and that would be for the Roth IRA, and then looking into your company to see if they offer a 401k plan. If you're going to go the 401k plan route, also look to see if they have a option for employer match, because that is something that is free money for you. So then picking either one or both of those options, and determining how much you can afford to contribute to that every month, so that you can see your retirement accounts grow over time. Second thing, is to make sure that you are starting this process early. The earlier that you start it, the more money that you're going to have at the end of, you know, the 60 years that you're working. Hopefully you're not working for 60 years, because we're trying to retire at 45 and be done with this, and then, you know, continue
30.
to just that's what I'm saying, you know, like I'm not working till 60. That's ridiculous. But I'm gonna just be chilling, you know, when I get to that age. So the earlier that you do it, the more that you're gonna set yourself up to be able to, you know, do what you want to do at a later age. So doing that as soon as possible. And then after that, you just need to make sure that you're continuing to be a good steward over that, making sure that you're looking at the contribution amounts, if they are going to get you, because a lot of them have projection goals. So they'll show you in 2025, how much money would you have contributed to this? And is that a good goal for you? Do I need to contribute more, or am I on a good pace to get me where I'm trying to go? So you look at those projections, look at those different graphs, and they'll be able to show you exactly where you're going to go at the end of the day, making sure that you're not pulling from them either. That was another major thing from us, is not making sure that you're not pulling from them.
Yeah,
you had something?
Yeah, and then if you do try to pull from the retirement accounts, trust me, as soon as you even try to hit withdrawal or something on those, they're going to give you like 30 warnings before you even get there. I'm like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You should probably put it back around this amount of time, or you're going to get hit with this penalty. Or if you take it out, you're going to lose all this money. Like, they're going to give you all those warnings. So heed those if you do have to do it. Completely understand if, you know, you got a flood or something happens in the family, anything like that, you might have to. Emergencies do happen, and sometimes you need to get some cash on hand pretty quickly. But that's why you should have, like, you know, savings accounts, other places where your money's more liquid. You have other more liquid assets that you can pull from.
Let's talk about that real quick. Just real quick. You can pull from them. You can. They have different options. So there is one option called the hardship option. That is, hey, something happened and I need to get money immediately, and it is your money. You can pull from it. There's always going to be a penalty. Typically, the penalty is going to either be a ridiculous percentage or it's going to be a flat rate. The flat rate is normally like $150. So they'll say, hey, you want to take $3,000 from your account? We're going to charge you $150 to do that, period. On top of that, then you're going to get hit with that tax bill at the end of the year, or you're going to have to repay all of that money within a certain time frame. So they'll say, hey, yeah, you can have $3,000 of this money that is yours, but we're going to charge you the $150 regardless, and then you're going to either have to pay it back within, you know, let's say 12 months, which means that the next checks that they take from you are going to have a bigger chunk taken out of your 401k in order to pay back all of that, the loan that you have. So in addition to just having that $150 taken from you, now you also have to pay a higher percentage, which means that your overall monthly income is going to go down until you completely pay that loan back. If you pay the loan back, then you won't have to worry about getting hit with the tax bill at the end of the year. If you default and do not pay that loan back, then you will get hit with that tax bill at the end of the year, which means that you're going to have to pay more taxes at the end of the year. So it is an option in terms of, hey, if something happens, can I do this? Yes, you can. Do you want to? No, you don't. You want to be able to have your emergency fund prepared. You want to have your different savings accounts, and you want to have liquid money. You know, so you want to be able to say, you know what, I have all these different avenues. So the last thing that I want to do, obviously, this is better than getting a payday loan or anything stupid like that. Those are never an option. But that's your last option. This is, I've exhausted all the money that I had. I've done sold everything. I've done asked people. I done did this. I sold my kidney. I sold my car. I don't have a car note. I lost my job. All these different things, and then you get to, you know, my emergency fund is gone. My savings fund is gone. My safety nets. Blah 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 blah. What else am I gonna do? All right, cool. Go ahead and take a look at the retirement accounts and pulling from those, and then look at the options in terms of repayment, because at the end of the day, you still want to be able to pay yourself. That was one of the major things that we talked about in investing in yourself. This is that 100%. This is an investment in yourself. So you don't want to start pulling from yourself and then not repaying that debt. So
yep. For my service industry people out there, for freelancers and self-employed, yes, 401k options are going to be a little bit more harder for you all, or even finding them sometimes. A Roth IRA or IRA may be more aligned where you're going, but there's still benefits to them. So don't be discouraged if you can't. There's no employee match for you because you are your own employee in a sense,
yep.
Or anything like that. But it's not to say that you can't still have a retirement account. So definitely don't be discouraged from that. Like I said, there's plenty of other services and brokerages who offer retirement accounts, and you just have to just go through and do your research on which ones you feel like are best for you, and then start investing in them. But
yeah. I mean, and that's not to say that, especially with this employer match, not every employer is going to match. My company does not match. So I do, whatever percentage I want, and then I can take an additional percentage and put it other places. But if your company does match, man, use that match. Use that match 100%, as much as you possibly can. So that's what I got to say about retirement.
Retirement when we old and gray.
Man, I'm trying to retire early.
Oh yeah.
Early. Oh, yeah. That's what this is all about. That's true. Like everything that we're doing now is trying to get us to the point of being able to retire early. So I'm not trying to be gray. I'm trying to still have these good roots, and I'm trying to be able to do what I want to do, So right now is just the time because, we're in our 20s. So that means that there's a lot of life ahead of us, God willing. So I'm able to grind at this point as much as I possibly can to know that, hey, 15 years from now, you're going to be done with the grind, and you're going to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it with who you want to do it with. So that's the goal. That should be the main goal, and that should be something that you have set as a goal every time that you look at that 401k. You're like, man, this is taking another $200 from this check. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. But that's money for you later.
Paying yourself.
So, yeah. So I think that's gonna be it for us today. We done, and we is through for today. So again, we just appreciate you guys coming, supporting, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Follow us on our social medias. We're putting them all down here for you. Sprinkled across. Yeah, sprinkled across. Follow us on all the different social medias. Reach out to us. We are available. Somebody will get back to you for sure. We're going to try to do it in a timely manner, but understand that we're busy people. But we do want to hear from you guys. We do have a giveaway coming up soon. So make sure that you're tuned in for that, because somebody else is going to come and get some money. So one of you guys is going to get more money from us.
Yep, we're going to try out some new segments on the show coming up too, just to see what you guys kind of like. And then, of course, also let us know what you guys want to see as well. You guys are the viewers in the audience, so we don't know what you all like and what you all want to see from us as well. But yeah, guys, thank you.
We're growing, and we want to partner with more people. We want to partner with businesses, companies, individuals, freelancers, etc. We are here for you guys. We want to use this platform, and we want to grow with other people. We don't just want to necessarily do this by ourselves. So if you are interested in partnering with us, for whatever it may be, if you want to sponsor an episode, if you want to, hey, put my artwork in the back, I'll hang your artwork. I'll do it. Just let us know. We're always open to different things like that, and we want to make sure that we are all growing together. But that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Roman, outro us, man.
We may be young or maybe even middle-aged with this retirement. We won't be broke, we'll be stable, but always be investing.
Always be investing, all of that. Yes, sir. That's going to be it for us today, guys. Till next time. Peace.
For listening to Young Broken Investing, we just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the host. They're not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.